So, in spite of the fact that no one probably cares about my opinions on the subject of Godzilla Save the Earth Melee, I have obviously taken very much of an interest in it. I did watch the interview on Goji Rex's YouTube channel that discussed kind of how development was going at the time. It kind of addressed some of the questions that I had and some of the things that I said in the last video I made, which was about Double Smash and the content from it that could make it into Save the Earth Melee. But that video was incepted in my mind as being just one of a number of things that I would like to see in the game. I don't fully understand how they're handling the number of skins that each character can have. So in the Godzilla 2000 presentation, there were 8 total skins for Godzilla 2000 in Save the Earth Melee, and that's including the default one. The interview on Goji Rex's channel from 2 years ago, in that video I believe he states that it's only 6 total costumes, and we know now, despite the fact that I was a dumbass and thought that Godzilla Final Wars could maybe be a unique character, apparently he's just a skin for Godzilla 2000. So unless Goji Rex was incorrect when that interview took place, which I highly doubt because he's one of the developers on the project, then it might be that they've upped the number of skins that each character can have in Save the Earth Melee, which is great. Wait a minute, no, it is 8 skins because Godzilla 2000 gets the Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash skin, and that was held until the end of the presentation. So it wasn't in the lineup of all the different Godzillas. Because Godzilla 2000 can be each of the Millenium Godzillas, plus the original Save the Earth model, plus the Godzilla Unleashed colors on the new model. So that means every character has at least 8 skins. He also stated they want 4 skins minimum for each character. Now some skins are not different enough, I would say, to probably meet that goal. And one of the characters I'm going to bring up here in this video is probably one of those cases where I really don't think it could slot in as one of the 4 different colors. But I just want to put these out here because they might be relatively obscure choices for skins. But now that I think about it, since you can have 8 total for each character, so 7 if you don't include the base one, that's still a fair amount of skins for each character. So I might as well start it off with one, right? So the way they're handling all the different versions of Godzilla, Godzilla 90s is basically going to be Heisei Godzilla. All the Millennium Godzillas are Godzilla 2000 from the base game. It's basically going to be Millennium Godzilla as one character. And as far as I understand it, there's going to be a Showa Godzilla. And we know that King Goji, 1962, King Kong vs. Godzilla, and Mosu Goji, 1964's Mothra vs. Godzilla, those are going to be on the Showa Godzilla. We haven't seen a gameplay or any indication of how that character will play, but I assume, pretty much every Godzilla fan who plays video games and has played these games in particular knows how that's going to go. But I would say, despite the fact that I really, really am not a fan of the 1984 Godzilla, it would probably be a good skin to have for Heisei Godzilla. And the face is enough of a differentiator to where I could see this is going to be one of his base skins, probably. And pretty much everybody probably guesses that this is going to be in Save the Earth Melee at some point. So, is it a bit of a lazy suggestion? Probably, but I made it anyway. Number 2 of my lazy suggestions, ones that every single person probably makes on their own. Just before I say anything, kudos to whoever made this artwork. I found it on Google Images. I have no idea whose it is. Final Wars Angweenas is it's one of those no-brainer skins. Of course we're going to get it. I'm personally glad that Pipeworks went with the Showa Angweenas for all of its games. As good as Final Wars is, it's a little bit of a departure, and it's not as accessible, I feel. But just like every other Godzilla mod for any game in existence, speaking of you, Godzilla Unleashed Rehaul, this one's a no-brainer. This is technically 2 for the same character, but I'm counting them as each individual one. Is that cheating? In the Godzilla Island TV show in Japan, and yes, it's Japan exclusive. If you haven't ever seen these pictures of Jet Jaguar, don't feel like too much of an idiot, because most of the people who know about these are people who are obsessive about it, like me. And I don't know the exact contexts for these designs, But I think the Jet Jaguars like patrol Monster Island and are kind of like the security force for the island. Or some bullshit, something like that. And one of them is the medical guy, and one of them is a firefighter, which makes absolutely no damn sense. It's an island full of giant monsters, some of which breathe fire. I don't think a firefighter is necessary, but either way, I think these are good. If anything, their obscurity is exactly why they should be skins, because no one's gonna know about them until they pick Jet Jaguar and go, I wonder what the alternate skins are. This one isn't on the list, but also I guess while we're talking about Jet Jaguar skins, I guess they can make an Ultraman skin. I just feel like that's lazy. Also, while we're on the subject of Jet Jaguar, I understand that I completely forgot to talk about his Double Smash skin in the Double Smash skin discussion video that I put out recently. Based on the brief snippet of gameplay that I watched to kind of brush up on what his design looks like, they might as well just make that a skin too. So with the default one, you have 4 already. So with the default skin, you're already up to 4 with these 2 and that. Plus, I imagine there's some other random thing they want to make a skin. And if you open the floodgates with Ultraman, there's a million choices anyway. But I definitely think these 2 deserve it just for the obscurity, and they are native Godzilla things. This one I feel like is more in line with the alternate Godzilla suit skins. This is also a character from the Godzilla Island show. I stole this image off of Google Images. No, this is not what he looks like in the actual show. This is far more beautiful than what's in the actual show. Its name is Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. I believe the wings are a little bit different. They're actually colored and textured slightly differently. The legs are mechanical instead of biological. And all 3 heads are mechanical. So this wouldn't be a simple retexture. But again, it's from a show that no one knows. The Godzilla Wiki lists it as an actual character. So I feel like it's worth it just to get people familiarized with this random bullshit from other parts of the franchise. Maybe it's too much work, I don't know. They'd probably have to have somebody model it. It'd probably be a lot of extra work. But it would be cool though. I am nothing if not consistent. Unless you're talking about my upload schedule. I'm actually gonna have to lean in for this part. This is, and I quote, Super Special Space Godzilla High Grade Type 2. Who knows what Type 1 looks like? This is what I was talking about when I said that there are some skins that wouldn't really pass in a multiplayer setting. And again, this is a character from the Godzilla Island TV show. All the characters in that show were action figures. So it kind of makes sense why they all kind of look the same and they're not really very different from the actual characters. Stupid, yes. But I also think that most modders have kind of forgotten that this guy exists. And the 12-year-old version of me that browsed Wikizilla looking for random obscure facts definitely remembers this guy. Plus, Space Godzilla's already in the game anyway. I know in a mod for Godzilla Unleashed, they made Super Godzilla a skin for Space Godzilla, but I would rather that just be a different Godzilla and a separate playable character. This random shit, it deserves to be a skin and nothing more. These can all be kind of combined together. It's kind of similar to the Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash situation, except not nearly as interesting.
One eternity later.
Anyway, so what the hell was I saying with regards to this? Oh yes, so the Double Smash skins are unique enough because they have their own models that can be ported over to be them. Godzilla Domination, which I've never played, is mostly just recolors and alternate color schemes. I think Domination Godzilla is pretty well covered by Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash's model. So that one we can just toss out. King Ghidorah, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. King Ghidorah is a little bit close. I have a feeling there's going to be Showa skins in the game for King Ghidorah. I believe that's kind of what that costume is emulating in general. Rodan, it's something similar. It's like another version of the character is probably going to be a skin of a suit that has that color scheme, so there's no point. Mechagodzilla, that actually brings up a good question. Are we going to get Showa Mechagodzilla in this thing in any way? That's probably the most popular version aside from Kiryu. With Mothra, there's so many color schemes that they could potentially give to Mothra, so this one kind of feels extraneous. Really, the Megalon color scheme from Domination is the only thing really worth preserving from this. So realistically, you could just cut this image down to just Megalon and you'd probably be fine.
6.5 hours later.
As one can probably tell, it kind of has changed time a little bit. Unfortunately, my girlfriend and my brother calling me kind of got the rest of the day away from me, so guess there's gonna be a part 2 to this. Sorry about that. It's a sign of poor planning on my part, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you when I finish this list at some point.